I think I'm live. If I'm live, you can hear me. Please say hi in chat because I can't tell if you can hear me or not. My tests were unsuccessful earlier today. Or not. What else? Welcome to my revamp on streams. Thanks all everyone for joining. Whoever's in here, I'm excited to try us out again. Tonight's gonna be kind of just talking about what I want to do, what we're gonna kind of look at for the next few months hopefully, and what you guys want to see and how the stream works and how it interacts and everything. So please don't hesitate to reach out via the chat in here or comment on the videos or reach out to me directly. I will not be on social media. I'll have people posting for me, but you can reach out via that to them or we'll figure it out. But again, thanks for joining. Today, we're going to make a little Spanish inspired tomato soup. I kind of liken this to like a bit of a bravas sauce. If you're familiar with patatas bravas, one of my favorite Spanish dishes of all time. It's like roasted crispy potatoes with the spicy tomato sauce and a really garlicky aioli. We're going to make a soup kind of inspired by that. We're going to have some smoked paprika. We're going to have some roasted peppers. We're going to have a little bit of chili in there to get a little bit of heat. And then I'm going to eat for dinner later with some cheese toast because I'm a kid. We're also drinking whiskey tonight. I picked up a nice bottle of Baker's Rye, single barrel. I'll be making myself a drink here in a second, and we can talk. But feel free to say hey in chat. Feel free to hit that like button, subscribe button, just because maybe I'll be good enough that y'all can make me a little bonus paycheck here on the side. So my goal for the stream is I think if you look back at my previous streams from 4 years ago, you'll see a much chubbier, lot less gray Justin. I highly recommend watching some of those episodes. I think it's a lot of fun. Born out of a desire to have impact during COVID. We had a lot of time not doing a whole lot of stuff outside of our houses. It was good times. I think there's some good videos in there. I think there's some good recipes. But I think my goal for this one is to be much more focused on let's do food that everyone can make. The recipes are simple, the processes are simple, and it's stuff that you can make at home, and we'll kind of grow with it. Every episode, every stream will be a touch more complicated. We'll build on the skills that I talked about in the previous episode. And we'll refresh. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Again, stop me, yell at me, put anything in chat, ask me questions. I'm here. I like interacting. I like being a piece of that. My goal is to stream every other week, so twice a month roughly. 30 to 45 tops, depending on what we're doing. I want to keep a little bit shorter than we used to do because we're not COVID anymore. We all have busy lives, and if this time doesn't work for everybody, let me know. I'm pretty flexible on days and times. I just want to know what works best for everyone and a time. I'm lucky that my college football team is not playing currently, so I'm kind of okay with that, but that might be a variable as well when we get to that point. Sound good? I'm just going to assume it sounds good because no one's chatting. I also just want to kind of like put a little recognition for this stream specifically to my friend Jen. She passed away in August. Kind of a big surprise. And I didn't know she was whatever happened or sick or whatever, but she was the biggest reason I started streaming. She was kind of pressing me to do our first one. And if you were there, which maybe, I can't tell who's here, that first video was rough. It was an Instagram live. We did ramen resources in Fort Collins, and it was trash. It was such a weird stream. I was doing with my phone off of I have a spice rack right over here, and it was rough. But it inspired me to keep doing this, and that's all that matters. And we had a lot of fun since. So I think that I just want to recognize and kind of throw an honor of the stream for her, and hope she's doing well wherever she's at in the world. So without further ado, we're going to roll. I'm going to make another drink, and then I'm going to start working on the soup. We're talking about knife cutting. We're talking about garlic smashing. And I got my induction burner right here. I'm going to move the camera over so you can see everything. It should be fun. But in the meantime, if anybody has any fun things to talk about or ask in chat, please don't hesitate. Because I think that'd be awesome. You guys are sitting on my sink in a box. So sorry if I'm going to be reaching weird. That's where my sink's at. Also, goal for the stream, I forgot about this, because I want to incorporate guests and different locations. When I was talking to my buds about this, like bringing these back, maybe having like bit of a peanut gallery, maybe having a live studio audience, if you will, was something that could be maybe make the stream a little bit more dynamic, and also just give me some people to chat with that can bring in some extra stuff to what we got going on. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. Thanks for the text. And mezcal is delicious, so I'm all about that. You might be the only person in here. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe people might be incognito. I don't know. But so, cheers to the mezcal. I'm drinking some Baker's 7-year single barrel rye with a little bit of Peychaud bitter and a little orange. Good shit. All right. So, so I want to do guests. I'm going to go at locations. I think my buddy Justin, the other half, there we go. The thickness Justin, not skinny fat, from Two Fat Justins might be hosting me. If anyone else wants to host me or have out, like, I'll love to be there. And kind of like you guys get to pick the meal we do when I come to your house. I'm essentially making y'all dinner or lunch or whatever the timing is. And then guests, I'm going to figure it out because I think it'd be fun to have people like kind of hanging out and helping or bullshitting or just being that commentary on the side. So I'm going to move you down. So if you have anything, I hope that you can see mostly what I'm working on. I'm going to turn maybe there we go. All right. So I think that the biggest thing I want to talk about is this onion cutting. I think onion cutting can be kind of daunting. Hopefully, maybe, yeah. Biggest thing about onion cutting is onions are round. They like to roll. So I like to take off the root end a little bit because, what problems. I don't like the dirt and the roots. I think it's gross, but I like to keep this little stem piece on because then it holds the onion together when we're getting it ready to cut. And then I cut them in half. I cut this front piece off. If there's like a big piece of like green growing in this center piece, I like to take it out because generally that's very bitter. It's starting to sprout, it's bolting, it's trying to reproduce. I find that's very bitter and kind of woody, and the texture's rough, so I tend to take it out if I see it. Same thing with garlic. We'll talk about in a second. So what I'm going to do here, hopefully I know you can't see it real well, but I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to hold it like this because I think this is the best way to hold. It's called I call it the pinch. And then using my fingers as a guide, I'm going to do like this so that I don't cut myself, but I kind of keep it uniform. I'm going to go make nice, deep cuts, but I'm not going to cut through the root section so that it all holds together. Think about like making like a bloomin' onion kind of. You're kind of going for the same thing. If anyone's familiar with bloomin' onion, I appreciate y'all. The only Outback available in Fort Collins closed several years ago, and it's just an empty building. And then I'm going to take and hold my onion like this. I know the brightness is rough. I'll try and work on it for next stream. I'm going to kind of go through about halfway to make sure I'm a little more even and uniform in my cuts. I'm going to then use I call this the claw. You've seen Liar Liar, the claw. This helps guide your knife, guide your cuts, but also it just like keeps yourself safe. Like just chopping like this can get a little weird, a little rough. I don't recommend it. So, and then don't force the knife. You should have a nice sharp knife. I recommend just having this is a nice 8-inch chef knife. I like an 8-inch. I think a 10 gets a little ungainly. A 6 is fine, but you have a lot less room to work. So you get that 8-inch, and this, make sure it's sharp. There's services in your town probably. I know Fort Collins, the cover does it. Crap, you can call me. I will do it. If you have shun knives, you can send them to shun. They'll sharpen them for you and send them back to you. Like there's a lot of good opportunities there. Just make sure sharp knives just make your life go better. They cut you. If you get cut with a sharp knife, it's clean. If you get cut with a dull knife, you're going to hate life for a long time. Probably have a scar. So I'm going to try and do this awkwardly. You see how I have my fingers like this? And we're just going to push through and slide down going forward. And this is going to allow us to have a nice, uniform, clean cut. And then from here, I'm just going to chop the top. And then the only thing I've ever taken from Rachael Ray is a trash bowl. I think that it's a very ingenious thing to have around because No one has a lot of counter space, especially if you're living in a more modern home that is cheap. You don't have counter space. If y'all been to my house, I have a little island. I've moved it against the sink so that I can use the sink space for my camera and my laptop. So I'm just gonna do the other side as well. Jeff, if you want, you can also text me questions and I can see them on my watch and I can answer if you have anything you want to add to the commentary. And if whoever else is in chat right now, feel free to reach out and or say something in chat if you can. If not, cool. Just enjoy the video. Hope that, or throw a comment at the end because I'd love to help out. Or just kind of know who you are and what's going on. Hope you're all enjoying your Saturday night. So I'm just going to do, I like to clean my knife because I don't have a ton of space to hold a bunch of onions currently. And I don't want to have a mess later because I have to clean the mess. So I have onions. They're all nice and cut at a pretty decent uniform level. Jeff, can you text me and tell me what you think about the loudness of my induction burner? Because I don't know. It is kind of loud. But I'm using an induction burner. I also have a nice shitty range over here, but I think induction burners are great for this because I have several pots and pans that will work on it, but also you can control the heat pretty specifically, the temp you want. We use this outside for fish cooking all the time because fish cooking inside sucks and it smells like ass. So, questions, thoughts, concerns? Cool. I'm gonna let it get hot. I'm using, I just discovered this olive oil a few months ago. I'm really enjoying it. There's two different kinds. Cool. Thanks, Jeff. Like what I like about these is they come in a squeeze bottle with a closing lid, but then the refills come in like 12-ounce cans. And I think that's awesome because they're aluminum, so they're really easy to recycle. Whereas constantly buying bottles, plastic bottles especially, is shitty, and I'm all about that kind of like what makes things better. So we're gonna add this. Oh, this pan was pretty warm already. Just gonna throw onions everywhere. Welcome to my first stream, everybody. We can do it, promise. All right. I bought this off of Webstront back when I used Webstront before I worked for Cisco. Now that I'm a Cisco whore, I can get shit. Oh, the oil, I got it. Whole Foods has it. I bet you that Zupan's or the place your sister works at, I'm blanking on the friggin' name, I can't believe it, would have it as well. So this is more of a finishing oil, but I like it for what I'm kind of going for right now as well. But they have a bigger bottle. It's a cooking oil. It's like more of like a straight virgin, not an extra virgin. This has got a nice spicy, grassy flavor, so it's good on bread or finishing. But I like, because of what my end game is here, I like what I'm going for. So we have garlic. I have some peeled garlic cloves. I like to take the ends off here because no one likes the root end. They're tough. They don't do anything. And then I'm just going to take the flat of my knife. Hopefully you can see this. And I'm going to smash. Same thing in the next one. Smashing makes it go around. And also, if you're angry, frustrated, or you have issues, great way to work them out. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to find some of these gross green bits of just the germ is what it's called, I believe, to just get it out of here. Stirring. I'm going to add salt. I use kosher. I use Diamond Crystal exclusively. I don't know where you can find that, wherever you're at. I have to cheat and order this on Amazon because I refuse to go to the Shamrock store here in town because that's just like going against, what I sell and who I sell. So I'm holding my knife like this. I'm using the top, but keep my fingers clear. And I'm just going to work my knife back and forth. I'm not as worried for uniformity here because this soup will end up being pureed once I'm done with it. So I'm looking just to kind of break it down so that I get as much of that great garlic flavor out of it as I possibly can before everything goes sideways. I'm going to add it in now because I'm not looking to caramelize. I'm looking to sweat and soften my onions and my garlic. Give me a towel. Drink. I'm gonna move you up and over. So we got a nice, we're working a little oil, we got a little salt. Salt helps break down the onions and the veg. The salt will pull moisture out and make it a little bit easier for those onions to really let out that moisture and that water so that we can get a nice cook on it before we go any further. I'm gonna move you back up here so you can see me. Hi. We're gonna let that cook for a little bit. I have a can of whole peeled potatoes. You don't have to use these. This is what I had in my cupboard. Kroger makes a good organic one. Muir Glen makes a good organic one. I like spending a little bit more on my canned tomatoes than buying like the cheap. Don't buy Hunts. Actually tastes like canned ass. It's really terrible. The Kroger brand is really nice, or even like a nice San Marzano style. You don't have to buy the DOP because they're really expensive. I'm also using a jar of Mount Olive roasted red peppers. Traditionally this recipe calls for piquillo peppers, which is a Spanish red sweet pepper. Their flavor is amazing. They're sweet and they got a nice like depth of flavor to them. They're also very difficult to find in this shithole town, and they're quite expensive for what I'm trying to get out of this. The roasted red peppers adds that sweet roasty flavor without me spending like $9 on a little jar. So that's where we're at right now. But traditionally, I would throw a little bit on there. Also, if you're gonna make this into a Brava sauce, which I recommend you can reduce this down and make it into a wonderful Brava sauce, roast the potatoes off. Highly recommend. Or if you're in a Spanish restaurant, always order the Bravas. It's always worth it. I would throw a little bit of saffron in now to bloom in the oil. You want to bloom saffron in the oil so there's a chance to really get a lot of good flavor out of it, because saffron is one of the most expensive things on the planet for food cookery, and it can get kind of messy. So really recommend saffron. All right, so I think it's just you and me, Jeff, but hopefully people watch it after the fact. To see you winning, I have no idea. I have some non-copyright music playing so that I don't get the stream pulled. So I'm working on getting these onions soft. I think we'll come back over and do a little remote work. See, you can start to see coming a little more translucent. A little bit of color on the edges, but I'm not looking for them to be brown or caramelized. We want them to be soft and nice. That's all we're looking for. I think at this point, I'm going to add a little bit of sweet smoked paprika. We have sweet smoked paprika. Huge win. Nice. For those watching in the future, my buddy Jeff is a Colorado Buffaloes alum. Big time. Probably the biggest Buffalo fan that I personally know. So we recognize that maybe he has a good team this year. Maybe-ish. I'm going to eyeball it because I love my smoked paprika, especially in the soup. Once we add the tomatoes and the peppers, a little water, it's going to help come together. So I'm just going to freehand it. Ooh, look at it. Fancy. The smell of smoked paprika is probably one of the most, to me, intoxicating smells I've ever experienced in my life. It's smoky, it's peppery. I also have a little dried oregano from our garden. We did Mexican and Italian oregano this year. It's very nice. So I'm going to sweat those in with the oil because that will help also bloom those spices. You own spices, even if it's a ground spice, a whole spice, whatever, and you're cooking like this, I really recommend doing it 2 stages. One like this, you bloom in oil. You're going to refresh those oils that are in those spices and you get a lot more flavor. But then also you add later to kind of refresh again, but you can kind of retoast them on the side or grind them fresh. There's a lot of different things, and we'll probably talk about it throughout the life of the show. So as we come together, I'm going to do another remote. We're going to do a little field trip. All right, so we got oregano, we have smoked paprika, we have our onions and garlic in here looking good. Looks good, right? Everything else looks good. Say it looks good in the chat if you have the ability to chat. If not, well, put in the comments after the video when you watch it remotely later. So I feel like we're in a good spot. I'm going to add my canned tomatoes, which I've already taken out, into the pot. And I like to start off with the tomatoes just like these to help like kind of deglaze, like pull up all that kind of caramelized smoked paprika, onion pieces, garlic pieces, and it helps kind of like really reduce and infuse. Oh, nice. Like a nice tomato flavor and kind of really concentrate that sweetness, which we want. I don't recommend using fresh tomato product for this because it's always going to be a little bit watery and you're not going to have that same depth flavor. If you do actually intend on using a fresh tomato product, buy a little tube, not a can, tube. There's really cool like tubes now of tomato paste, and hit that when you throw the spices in and kind of like caramelize that, and it'll help add that depth of tomato flavor that you're not going to get when you use fresh. Also, fresh tomatoes have peels, so you can either you can blanch and peel them, or you can just make sure that you pass them through a fine mesh strainer after you puree it. Peels and little like really bitter, tough bits on a tomato skin ain't enjoyable. I got a little bit of water to rinse out my can, just because it's going to need a little bit of moisture. I'm going to add probably about half of a larger can of tomato or water. Helps rinse out whatever's left in the tomato. And I'm going to let this kind of come up and cook a bit. We're going to also, at this point, I like adding the liquid and the peppers to anything. Depending on what you're trying to go for, if you're going to saute and then add, you can strain the liquid out. But this is pure pepper essence. And like when I worked for Tyler Florence, we had a recipe for this lamb barbecue sauce we'd make. So we would slow roast these lamb ribs on in the oven, and we'd finish them in a rotisserie. And we would take all the drippings. We'd roast like a full 25-pound case of red peppers under a salamander, so like blistered but still raw, and we'd hang them in like perf pans and collect all that juice and call them pepper tears. And then we would use that to finish our barbecue sauce. So good. Underrated lamb ribs are probably one of the best parts of the lamb. Recommended if you see them, buy them. They smoke well. They cook up really quick, but they're super tender, great flavor. If you're in Fort Collins, good luck. Elsewhere might happen. So I'm gonna let that come up. I'm gonna let that cook. At this point, we're just going to let it go. I'm going to throw a little bit of fresh ground black pepper. Highly recommend having some sort of grinder. I don't care what it looks like. It doesn't matter. It's just something that you're grinding fresh black pepper in a already ground in a spice jar or a little container. That stuff's going to taste like nothing forever, and it's going to have a weird texture and flavor when you add it to stuff. Adding that fresh, you get that sweetness that a black pepper has that you don't get from anything else. It's just a really unique flavor, and you only get it when you're grinding and you're just doing the twist. Bye, other person. Thanks for coming for a minute. So I'm gonna let that go for a minute. I think I also pulled some basil from the garden, the last of our seasonal basil. Jeff, did you go too? I can't tell. I'm gonna add a little bit of basil to this as well because I think that add a nice little fresh point, and since I'm going to be pureeing this, it'll be a nice clean finish. I'm just gonna put it over there. For this, I'm not gonna chop. I'm just gonna pick off all the basil bits. No, I can only see people in chat. I wonder if that's weird. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please, on the thing. That will really help me out with anything. Honestly, metrics, tracking. The reason I've chosen YouTube is it's a really great place to have good metrics so I can see what I got going on. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jeff. And I'm not doing Instagram Live because I'm not getting back on Instagram. And Twitch is a really great platform, and I would be able to use my phone instead of this questionable brand webcam I bought on Amazon. But I think if you are older than 35, Twitch is a place you probably don't know unless you have a kid. And I want to have people actually come and watch this because I think it's fun. I think this is I want people to get something out of this. I want people to learn, but also just like have some fun. You know, we're going to be drinking, we're going to be bullshitting, we're going to be talking about stuff that's happening. Hopefully we'll get more people in chat. And so there's more interaction. Because it's just easier for me to make shit up when I'm talking to somebody instead of just making me up without anybody around. it's just, I think that there's a lot of ability to have a lot of fun here, and I want people to kind of enjoy it. Moving forward, like we're almost done with this episode. I want to keep it. I want to keep these a little bit more, a little bit quicker. If you watch any of the past videos in my my VOD list, previous streams, we were hitting an hour almost every episode. And I think that's too long. I think engagement, I think people just don't want to spend an hour, honestly, in a live stream, especially if it's going to be a Saturday, which more often for not for me, it's going to be Saturday. Sundays are just getting ready for the week, and Saturdays just makes the most sense. And Fridays, honestly, like I'm generally wiped out and I'm pissed off at the week, and I just want to get done. So Saturdays it is. So I think from there, I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. I think that it's been good. I think it's been a good start. I'm looking forward to doing the next one in a couple weeks. I'm hoping that people will throw some comments on the video. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button to the channel. If I can get, I think, 500 subs and a little bit more concurrent, I might be able to actually make money on this. Not a lot of money, literally, like barely any. But hey, what the hell, might as well try. But until then, I think that if you have any other, like, look for, if you're a sub on the channel, you'll see when I set up my stream for next time. You can also reach out via text. If you know me, you have my number. You can text me, you can message me, or you can reach out to the vast network of people that I've invited to this damn thing, and they can get a hold of me as well. And look for that Facebook, Instagram invite from somebody, whoever volunteers to share it next time. I'm hoping to be at another location next time that we can have a little bit more live audience and people can make fun of me and give me shit in real time, and maybe make the dynamic a little bit different. I also, if anyone has any suggestions for food they want to see, they've always wanted to cook, but they're just not sure how to get there, hit me up. Throw it in the comment section below. I will gladly look at it and figure out anything that I can. Also, if you want a recipe, don't hesitate to reach out. Also, hit it in the comments, whatever. And my email is there, so you can also email me. I love sharing recipes. I can write a recipe, or I have all these recipes. I have hundreds and hundreds of recipes in my head or in my computer from my time cooking professionally that I'd love to share. But until then, I'm going to peace out. I'm going to have a good night. I'm going to go watch the rest of this Texas-Georgia game and enjoy the rest of my drink. Maybe a little cheese toast. But thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the VOD, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks. Have a great night. It's a double push.